A little while ago, I asked my readers what stops them from crocheting a garment. And one of the things that I saw often was just the overwhelm and fear that they wouldn't be able to do it, or they wouldn't like it, or it wouldn't fit. Just the overwhelm of making one, the fear of what if I don't like it. And today I want to address that. Hi, my name is Michelle Ferguson. I'm the crochet pattern designer of Two Brothers Blankets, and I'm on a mission to help crocheters crochet garments that fit great and make them feel fantastic. Today, I'm going to share 5 tips that will help you with the fear and overwhelm that keeps you from crocheting a garment so that you'll be able to go into it with confidence and create one that you love. All right, let's get started. We have 5 really great tips, and I'm going to delve into each one of them a little bit more to help you so that you will feel really confident in crocheting a garment for the first time. Number 1, educate yourself. There is so much information out there on the internet, free information, like this YouTube channel where I talk about crocheting garments. I share things like gauge and all kinds of stuff like that, and then talk about different types, and I have tutorials and just tips like this video. There's all kinds of stuff from all different designers. You can Google blog posts, you can watch YouTube videos, you can listen to podcasts, check out different designers. We all have some form of education in our own way, whether that's within the pattern or stuff like this, free content like YouTube and blogs. So educate yourself. Learn as much as you can about crocheting garments. Practice checking your gauge. Practice deciding on a yarn. Look up how to choose the best yarn for your crochet pattern, whatever. The internet is just this endless library of free education that you can use to educate yourself on crocheting a garment before you even begin. All right, number 2, and this is a big one. I want to tell people often that I'll get emails and they'll be like, I haven't started yet, but I have this, and this question, which is fine, totally fine. But sometimes I just want to be like, trust the process. That's my tip. Trust the process. Take it one row at a time, one round at a time, one stitch at a time. Most designers crochet the sample themselves. They write down the pattern. They get it tech edited. They get it tested to make sure other crocheters can do it. And they've done it. The pattern works. It's worked for other people. It's worked for themselves. They've had it edited. And oftentimes you'll see that whole big pattern with all those words and all those techniques and all those abbreviations, and it overwhelms your brain. And you're like, but wait, what does this mean? How can that work? Like that. And then when you actually work through it, so for me, even as a designer, I can do so much better when I work up the project or the pattern as I write it, rather than trying to write the pattern beforehand and then make it. Visually, I can't do it. My brain cannot see it ahead of time. I have to be working on it. And then I'm like, oh, that's exactly it. Same thing as if you're crocheting it and you're just following the pattern. Seeing it, doing it, reading it and then doing it with your hands, and that brain connection, it just makes more sense when you're actually doing it than if you're looking at that whole big paper full of words and numbers. So I often want to tell people, and I do tell people, trust the process. Take it one stitch at a time, one row at a time, and continue. Now, don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean we don't make mistakes. And there's things that, we mess up or get overlooked or whatnot. So if you're still struggling, of course, reach out. But sometimes it's just a matter of working it out with your hook and your yarn rather than just looking at it on the paper. Okay, number 3 has to do with that. Like I just said, reach out to the designer. Ask the designer questions if you get stuck or need suggestions. Cannot say this enough. We don't mind, most of us. I can't speak for everybody. I don't mind if you have a question for me. It usually takes me 5 minutes to email you back. Now, I may not email back right away. I go to bed early and I get up early. So I'll often wake up to an email or two from when someone was up late crocheting something. And so I may not respond right away. But I'm happy to respond. I'm happy to answer your questions. I'm happy to look at the pattern with you, double check things, whatever that has you stuck. I want to help you because I want you to be able to crochet my pattern. That's like my biggest desire. There's no point in it if you can't do it. So, and that's how most designers feel, at least the ones I know. So do not hesitate to reach out. My email is right on my pattern, as I think it's most designers. So reach out by email. That's probably the best way. You can message on Ravelry and Etsy, but I don't necessarily see Ravelry and Etsy right away as quick as I do my email. I check my email a lot more often, which is why I put my email on there. So different designers will have different ways that they prefer for you to contact them, but all of us want you to contact us if you have questions or you're stuck. So that's number 3 on our list. Number 4 is to start simple. You don't have to do the most intricate color work and, technique that there is to start. You can find so many great patterns out there, garment patterns out there that are super, super simple and basic. And by that, I mean like something that doesn't require any sewing or seaming. Things that are 1 or 2 stitches the entire, like this one. My Edgewater tank top is 1 stitch worked in different ways. Like it's back loop and front loop. But it's 1 stitch. Stuff like that. So just something very plain, very simple. And that's easy to adjust. You can find very, very, very simple patterns out there. And that is a great place to start because the more simple it is, the harder it will be for you the easier it'll be for you to understand, and you won't have to worry about getting frustrated or getting stuck and wanting to give up. So I always suggest to start simple. Look for things like no-sew, look for things like seamless, look for things like easy 1 row repeat, those kind of words when you're looking at patterns to start you out simple so that you don't get frustrated. If you need help finding a really beginner pattern, like you're looking for something in particular, but you're a beginner at garments and you need help finding that, reach out to me. I would love to help you find a good garment pattern that's going to be right where your skill level is. And so it's not going to frustrate you. It'll challenge you a little, but not frustrate you. So reach out to me. You can email me or just comment below and I'll help you find something. All right. And the last one is, I don't know if it's going to step on toes or not, but it might be a little hard to hear, but my number 5 tip is be willing to make mistakes and learn from them. I feel like we don't want to take the time to do a garment because we might mess up. And like as a designer, that's half the project. Like frogging, no, I don't like it this way. I want to change this. This doesn't fit right. Doesn't, whatever. That's half of our whole process is making mistakes or, changing the things. And so the cool thing about crochet is you can easily pull it out, right? And start back. And I feel like that's how you learn. I mean, think about life. That's how you learn in life, when you make mistakes and then you learn from them. And it's kind of this, not so deep, but it's kind of the same thing for crochet. If you don't learn these things, if you don't make these mistakes, you won't learn from them. And that's how I've learned how to design, a full trial and error. What I did years ago, I don't do anymore because I've learned that you can do it this way and it's so much easier and whatever else. So it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to learn from those mistakes. It's okay to have to frog. It's not the end of the world. Now I understand a garment takes a little longer than, small projects. And so you might be like, oh, I don't want to be working on this anymore. But that's when you can put it in timeout and leave it for a little bit and then come back to it. That's totally fine too. Like, it doesn't have to be this, I think in this world of like Amazon and, 2-day shipping, and we can order anything from anywhere, and have it delivered right to our house. We're just in this like fast-paced world that we think we got to get it done. And crochet is not that. Crochet can be a slow process and project. Like, it doesn't have to be this got to get it done, can't make mistakes, can't frog it, can't do anything like that. I think if we embrace that, it's a process and it takes time, and we're going to make mistakes and we're going to want to make adjustments throughout, I think we will enjoy the process a lot more as well. So let me go over the 5 tips again. Educate yourself, find out as much as you can about crocheting garments, use the internet, free resources, trust the process, take it one stitch at a time, one row, one round, use your hands and do the project before you freak out, try it first, that kind of thing. Reach out for help when you need it. If you're stuck, we want to help as designers. And I've noticed this before. I do want to mention, I've heard where people can't get hold of the designers. If that's the case, you email the original designer and you have a certain question, about, I don't know, something fairly general, like where you don't have to like share the whole pattern with someone. But you can also reach out to other designers. Like, I'm not going to be like, no, if you ask me a question about somebody else's pattern, or something, a technique or something in another pattern. I'm not going to be like, no, I can't help you. You know what I mean? So reach out to who you feel most comfortable with if you can't reach that designer specifically. All right. Number 3 was reach out. Number 4, start simple. Look for simple, beginner, or, intermediate, advanced beginner patterns that are no sew, no seam, or 1 stitch, 2 stitch repeats, stuff like that. So you don't get overwhelmed or get frustrated. And then number 5, be willing to make mistakes. Be willing to frog if you have to. Don't give up on the project. Keep trying, keep learning. And you're going to be a pro before you know it. Like, once you get that first garment done, you're going to be like, oh yes, I love this. And you're going to, once you figure out, that first time you figure out how to adjust to fit your body, you're going to be like, yes, I got it. I want to do this again. And you're going to be a pro and you're going to love it. So I hope those tips are helpful. If you need help finding that pattern, that beginner pattern that you want to start on and you want to move past all this fear and overwhelm and confidently crochet your first garment, reach out to me. I'm happy to help. And I'm excited to see which ones you make. Be sure to tag me on social media at 2 Brothers Blankets, especially if you make one of my garments, or if you use these tips to make any garment, and I'd love to see it. Please do tag me in your social media posts. I hope you'll subscribe to this channel as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.